So today's trip starts already in Chester. I've got a lift here this morning, so that will save on the pennies a bit. Today again, the weather is really bad, so don't really know what we're going to get today. But there is a youth game, FC United have got today against Basford. That's an 11:30 kickoff, so an early start today. Go to that, and that's on a plastic pitch, so that should go ahead. I'll go to that, and then we'll sort of see how the rest of the day pans out. Go into another game wise, really. We'll get the train down to Manchester and see how we get on. There was time for a quick drink in the town crowd before I left, and I did some video editing. I did some more video editing on the train, that's why there is some background noises in the voiceover bits. I apologise for that, but it's just a good time to get some time to do the video editing. Managed to finish my video editing on the bus. So we're here, and it looks like the game is off. That's the problem with youth games, is not much to go on. Really, no communication to say that it was going to be called off, but yeah, that looks like it's off. So that was a bit of a waste of a journey, but we're out and about, hopefully get another game on later on today, but not a good start. I did check straight after to see if there was any communication from FC United about the game being off. They had tweeted something, but only within the last 30 minutes before I arrived. So I would have only maybe at best been able to save myself the bus journey of £2 there and £2 back, so £4 altogether to and from the city centre. So just a bit unfortunate, really. I assume they must have give the call off before that time as well, because Basford's quite a way, it's Nottingham, so surely they should have known a couple of hours before. So it really would have been handy if they could have said earlier in the day, because assumably they called that off before Basford travelled. Just to add insult to injury, the closest bus stop to the ground to go back to the city centre was closed, so I had to walk a little further. I mentioned the other day about food I take with me. One of those is an apple, which I had for lunch on the bus back into town. With not knowing where I was going to go for the second game, I'd also taken a pork pie for tea and a couple of packs of beef jerky as well, because they're really thin and you can stick them in your pocket just in case I ended up having to stay overnight anywhere and head straight to Sheffield tomorrow. So I could have some food for tomorrow. So I dive straight off the bus into Wetherspoons, collect my thoughts and see what else I could find for later on in the day game-wise. So we're back in the town centre now in Manchester. Not really sure where we're going to go. There's a game, Darlaston, bus by Wolverhampton there, which would be the closest one for me. But that's a grass pitch, and as a 3G pitch this morning has gone. I'm not convinced that's going to be on. Look at the temperatures, they don't really get above zero very much, and there's no sun coming out anywhere, so there's no chance of those pitches defrosting. And I'll say with the 3G one being off this morning, I'm not too hopeful that'll be on at all. I looked around and Darlington Town are saying that they're going to play tonight, and that is a 3G again, so better chance, but as we can see by this morning, not guaranteed. So I'm probably going to stay here in Manchester, do a bit of work here, and then try and get a train as late as possible to either one of them. I can actually get home from Darlington because it's a 7:30 kickoff, so we can get back okay, and I can obviously get home from Darlington Town as well. So I think we'll wait on here now and keep checking on things and go as late as possible to the one I feel is most probable. Added some stuff to eBay and Vinted while I was waiting. Games up and down the country were getting called off in all directions. It wasn't looking very good. But finally... So lots of games off then, but I think I found one. It's Edinburgh City versus East Fife. I've left it as late as I possibly can to leave Manchester, so hopefully I will get there and get there on time for the game. With a long journey, I had plenty of time to add games to my games being to list whilst I was on the train. The train arrived 17 minutes late into Edinburgh, so I got off at the first stop in Edinburgh Haymarket and got a taxi up to the ground. This cost me £9, so a little bit more expensive than what I was hoping, but in order to get to the game I had to get it. I did actually miss kickoff, but only by about 6 minutes. On arriving at the ground, I had to walk down this path. As nice as it probably looks, this is an absolute nightmare for me. Bright lights on a path, I can't see anything on this at all. I was literally walking completely blind, as the lights were just dazzling to me. If there'd been any obstructions, I would have walked straight into them. Fortunately though, there wasn't anything. I just walked slowly and carefully until I got to the doors. Time to start heading home. I weighed up my options: bus, walk, or get the taxi back to Waverley Station. It looked best to get a taxi, as it was £5 or £3 on the bus, or a 30-minute walk. Now there is only a few trains to where I need to get to, which is Falkirk Grahamston. Bizarrely enough, the sleeper train does not allow passengers on at Edinburgh, and I was going to take the sleeper home, so you have to go out to Falkirk, which is the closest stop, pick up the sleeper and then travel back through Edinburgh. The train actually stops in Edinburgh but doesn't allow passengers on. It actually connects up with the other sleeper one comes from, Aberdeen, and the other one starts at Fort William, and they connect up at Waverley Station, but you're not allowed to get on. So there is only a few trains to Falkirk Grahamston. You can go to Falkirk High and walk, but it's a bit of a walk. So I wanted to get the train to Falkirk Grahamston. So there was one just shortly after the game. So I decided that for £2 extra, I'd get the taxi back to Waverley, because otherwise I'd be hanging round for quite a while in Edinburgh, though I could go to the pub in Edinburgh and keep warm. When I got to Falkirk, I wouldn't have time to go to the pub and I'd be standing outside for a long time. Whereas if I went now, I could go straight to Falkirk Grahamston and get the pub by the station there, and stay in there until the last minute. So in Falkirk now, the train is 12:26 and Wetherspoons is open till 12. Well, serves till 12, so obviously 20 minutes drinking up time is perfect. I did some video editing while I was waiting. In Crewe, I had an hour before my train to Chester, so I put some stuff on Vinted and eBay. I did get some sleep on the train down to Crewe, so while I was on the train to Chester, I did some putting games on my games being to list. So a bit of an expensive trip, this one. I did get a little refund on the trains, and I am going to try and get a little refund on the ticket, as you can see by the above tweet, but I'm not really hopeful I'll get any more money back than I've already got.